Being in the Navy is hard, but being in the Navy as a woman is even harder. One of the things I didn't like when I was in the Navy was the fact that I had to sign my life away. Well, not literally, but it felt that way. Because when you enlist, you have this contract and you're pretty much the government's property. So you have, the minimum I think is 4 years, and you're stuck with them for 4 years until you finish your term or something happens where they kick you out, which obviously you don't want that to happen. But of course, it wasn't that bad. So urinalysis pretty much is where they make you pee in a cup to make sure that you aren't using any drugs. The thing with that is somebody is looking at you pee in this cup. I didn't realize that throughout the whole time in my Navy career, you get random urinalysis. I didn't mind. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that somebody has to be looking at you while you pee. And this person is somebody that you more likely don't even know. So you can imagine how mortified I was to have to stand there and try to pee in this little cup. And I'm a girl, so of course it's hard for me to aim, and just having them stare at you while you pee in the cup, it's really uncomfortable. So I learned a trick, which was every time I had to go for urinalysis, I wore a really long white undershirt. So it was long enough to where it literally covered my private area. So when I went to go ahead and pee in this cup, you couldn't see my stuff. So I was able to go ahead and do it that way versus just have my stuff all out for the stranger to look at me, which it's so weird. Another thing that I didn't like is when you go to boot camp. I think I might have cried maybe twice when I was in boot camp. One of them was when they cut my hair. I know it sounds so girly and lame to say it, but I did, because my hair was pretty long, and I even cut my hair beforehand because I knew that they were gonna cut my hair. So I was like, okay, I'll go ahead and cut my hair so once I go in boot camp, they don't have to worry about it. Wrong. I was so wrong. They still cut my hair. I felt the back of my neck. I've never felt the back of my neck. That's how short my hair was. And I literally was like tearing up like, oh my God, my hair. Like, this is so short. Like, what the heck? And you know what sucks though? Now they don't even cut your hair from what I was told. And I'm just like, really? Are you kidding me? Like, you know how long it took for my hair to get to like this length? And now they don't even cut people's hair? I'm so jealous. But anyways, that was one of the times that I cried. A second time that I cried, if this is so much TMI, I apologize, but I feel like I have to share this with you. When I was in boot camp, when we first had to go in and take a shower, when you go into this room, you see a bunch of shower heads all over the wall, okay? Now get this, there's no curtains, there's no walls, there's nothing. They're just shower heads all over the room. So when you go in there butt naked, the other females that are with you can see everything, the way that you came into this world. So you could only imagine how I felt when I went in there, and I was like, oh my gosh, like my mom hasn't even seen me butt naked, and all these girls that I don't even know are able to see all my stuff. I think they give you about maybe 5 minutes to wash yourself from head to toe. So it was always like fast, go. So within, I want to say a couple of days, all the girls were kind of over it because we were just rushing to clean ourselves, and by that point nobody was really looking at you. You were just focused on yourself. Within time you get over it. Uniforms. I am not a fan of uniforms. When you go in, there are certain uniforms you have to wear. There are no ifs and buts. Your hair has to be pinned back just right. If you wear earrings, they have to be a certain size. Your actual uniform had to be pressed and ironed perfect. It was just so much. That's one of the things I just did not like when I was in the Navy, because makeup had to be so minimal and natural. But this black winged eyeliner that I have here, Nope, that would not fly being in the service. You had to be very natural. You couldn't do any bold, crazy colors on your hair. You couldn't have these bright blue eyeshadows. I mean, that's what you like, but you just couldn't be creative. I really did not feel like a girl. Stuck on a ship for 6 months. When you are in the Navy and you're stationed on a ship, you are more likely to be deployed for 6 months or even longer. It is pretty awesome and cool because you get to travel and go to all these parts of the world that you never imagined you would go, meet some awesome people. Like, I am still friends with a lot of the people that I was in the Navy with till this day. But obviously the downside is you're away from home for so long and you're stuck on a ship with all these girls slash guys, and you are stuck on the ship until you hit a port, which, mind you, it wasn't so often, but can you imagine being with 40 plus girls in the berthing and stuck with each other for 6 months and some? It could get pretty crazy. Another thing that I know a lot of people hate is this thing called duty. You are forced to stay on the ship, or whatever command you're in. It could be different. I think I want to say it was up to every 7 days, but you had to stay on the ship. For example, if you were stationed on a ship, you had to be on the ship the whole 24 hours because you were pretty much manning up the ship for protection. And on top of that, you might have watch, meaning you might have to spend 4 hours manning up this station, and you can't go anywhere. You're pretty much in the ship. You don't have the freedom, and you have to be there until the next day when you were released from the next duty section. Can you imagine if your duty day fell on like Christmas or New Year's, or maybe like on your birthday? Now, mind you, the only way you could kind of get out of it is if you take leave, which is vacation, but it has to be like a long, extensive vacation. It can't be like, I'm just gonna take this day off because I know I have duty. You have to take a good couple days because that is not gonna fly. Drama, drama, drama. Now, I didn't know this, but when you're on a ship, there are at least, I want to say, around 5,000 people living on the ship. When you go in there, it almost feels like high school all over again. Such and such is with so-and-so, or somebody got in trouble for doing something they wasn't supposed to do. Everybody is in everybody's business, and everybody has like their clique. You had the people that you would pretty much were cool with, and in order for you to make it up the chain of the command, you had to really be connected. Know who your people are. It's all about politics, about who you know and who could help you move up, which sucks. But once again, this is something that I experienced. I'm not saying that you will experience this, but it's something that I felt I should tell you guys. Can you hear that? Speaking of drama. And the last thing I wanted to mention on a serious note is being in the Navy is hard, but being in the Navy as a woman is even harder. I never realized that it would be as hard as it is, because when you go in, I learned firsthand that a bunch of females, and I'm not saying it's all the females, but there's a group of females that gave the military women that actually went in there to work, to better themselves, make a career out of it, a bad name, because a lot of these females were pretty much being very promiscuous, so to say. You get my drift? And that made it seem that all the girls in there were like that. A lot of males felt very upset because they don't really take girls seriously in the Navy. They think that they're there just to bat their eyes, get what they want. And granted, I'm not saying there's not females like that, because I'm pretty sure there are females like that do that. But for me and a lot of other females on the boat that weren't like that, we had to work twice as hard to kind of prove ourselves, to let them know that, hey, I'm here to work, I'm here to better myself, I'm here to do something with my life, and I want you to give me the benefit of the doubt instead of just assuming that, oh, I'm just here to look pretty and I'm not here to get down and dirty and get ready to work my ass off just like you. Just be prepared for those people that are not going to be happy to see you because you're a woman. And if you're there for the right reasons, it's gonna be hard. It's not gonna be an easy path to push through. I promise you, you will be so happy at the end that you did. Don't ever doubt yourself, and I guarantee you that everything would work out fine. These are only a few things that I experienced that I didn't like, but overall I did enjoy being in the Navy. I loved it. I had a great experience. I met awesome people. I got to travel the world, and I met my husband, which was a plus. So if any of you guys have any questions or want to know more or are really interested as far as being in the Navy, please comment below. I promise you I will definitely answer any more questions that you have that I might not have mentioned here in this video. And thank you so much for watching, and hopefully you guys please like the video and subscribe.